Do you like the word land art?
No.
In 1967, a 22-year-old art student named Richard Long walked back and forth across a patch of grass in Wiltshire, England, creating a line in the trodden blades underneath his feet. He didn't excavate this line or draw it or plant anything to create it. He simply walked back and forth with whatever thoughts he had in his head at the time. After a while, maybe an hour or so, he had something to show for his actions, a line made by walking, which is to say, a trace of his movement, his presence in the world. Not unlike the way light inscribes itself fleetingly in the photograph that we now have all these years later of that line made in the grass of a summer's day by human feet walking back and forth, or the way we show up as subjects or objects in a YouTube video or an Instagram reel on someone's handheld screen. Long's line was not a path, though it ended up carving one for him in the art world, a path of recognition, success, longevity. The line I'm making today, in that same spirit, leads nowhere and serves no one except for this earnest game. Like his line, it is just a small structure, something to give shape to a day that might otherwise drift. This day, in which I woke up with my usual midsummer blues, that helpless, resigned recognition that, aside from the people who pay me to help them make sense of their lives, no human creature seems to be walking a line towards me this weekend, this year, this life, nor, from what I can tell, desiring that I walk towards them. This, of course, is Steve in self-pity mode, and he knows where this line of thought leads. Nowhere. It's not even much of a line, really, more like a saturation point, a build-up of feeling with no outlet, folding in on itself instead of reaching outwards.
There's a line that runs through everything, and the heart feels it.
What do we modern humans do when we feel sad or alienated? Well, a number of us, it would appear, turn our sadness and alienation into a kind of content, both for ourselves or maybe for others, whether recorded or not. We cast traces of the self out into the world, not just for recognition or relief, but in the quiet hope that someone might see these traces, our traces, and want to come a little bit closer. That they might follow the thread of our being all the way back to the being who left it there in the first place.
We are the mad of bills, we are the only ills, we are words we have lost. We are the I don't think so's, we are the no, we are words we have lost.
We all want to be tracked by those who desire to experience or meet us, but more often than not, we are either consumed by the individuals who track us down or left completely untouched. Most traces are either laid on top of the world or cut into it. A line drawn with charcoal or chalk is additive. A line scratched, scored, or etched is reductive. But Long's line was neither of these. Nothing was added, nothing removed. The line emerged only in how the grass got bent, how the grass caught the sun on that particular day. Richard Long's existential trace was made not out of substance, but out of angles, the same way a piece of content is watched on here, perhaps, traced by the saccadic flicker of our eyeballs, those rapid, involuntary jumps of attention, as long as they offer us an angle sharp enough to interrupt the blur. Think of the lines made by fallen bodies after a bomber's dropped on a village or a refugee camp. Lines not walked or drawn, but formed in collapse. This is the part that the grass played in Richard Long's Earnest game. The trace, in a way, is the saddest of lines, a footprint that no one follows, a video that sits unwatched, an email to an ex that's met with silence or scorn, a trace of feces, urine or blood on someone's underwear. Not a gesture of communication, but of insistence. A line made to ward off total erasure. These are the saddest and most undignified of lines, the lines that others often click away from. But there are two more lines that we need to acknowledge here. One is the line that produced everything. That line we might describe as a crack. Think of the most mythic crack of all, that of the Big Bang, the original rupture that brought space and time into being. The crack is also the line of a wound, the line of trauma, of the body splitting in birth or violence or sadness. The symbolic function of the crack is revelation without intention. The veil tears, the structure splits, the real, as Lacan called it, collapses inward, untranslated, unsignified. The crack of today doesn't reveal a path, it just sits there, open, ordinary, inconsolable, a wound with no lesson, a glitch in the fabric that doesn't ask to be understood. In the face of this rupture, like the miller's daughter in Rumpelstiltskin, we attempt to spin straw into gold, the gold of attention, of care, of love. And just like in the fairy tale, it often feels like if we don't continue making this content, we will die. Which brings me to the third kind of line, the one that I'm always yearning for, the line of relation, the line of longing, the line of mutuality. We might call this line the thread. The thread is what Ariadne gave to Theseus, not to help him slay the Minotaur, but to help him find his way back home. The thread doesn't kill the monster, it doesn't offer protection, it just says, here, take this, so you don't get lost. There's a thread you follow, the poet William Stafford wrote to himself in the shape of a poem a few weeks before his death at the age of 79. There's a thread you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread, but it is hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen, people get hurt or die, and you suffer and get old. Nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. Other than being with my tiresome self again today, as you are with yourself or selves, I can only choose a thread, the thread of an idea, a question, a feeling, and spin it into another earnest game. This one is the earnest game of a line made by walking.
We are the mighty winds, we are the only hills.